every game, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why he's disappointed. Mikel Arteta has been used to winning games of football, but you look at it as well. He's got another point on the board away from home. So Man United game is going to be huge, though, because how well they played today. Can they do that again at the Emirates? It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, some tricky games to come. What's your thinking in terms of that Manchester United game you said at the Emirates? They've got to get a victory.
There's always been a lot of rivalry between both teams. You know, even when I played, it was always a real feisty game. But the way Manchester United played today was amazing. You know, the crowd was absolutely unbelievable. The atmosphere was brilliant. And, you know, it's going to be a hell of a game.
One from Saka.
Yeah, I mean, he had a fabulous season last season. This season's been a bit tricky. They've had a few managers. Back line hasn't been as stable, but he makes a fantastic save. I love this ball down the side for Declan. Stands it up. It's a great header from Saka, but he's probably got enough time, hasn't he, Ray, to kind of get across and save it. It's a great header and a great save.
It's a perfect header from Saka, because when the ball's coming, you head it back the way it come, and it's aiming for that corner, and it's a real fingertip save. And a really big save, because if that goes in, suddenly it could be a real 2 or 3-0 game, but that give everybody a little bit of a lift, the players, and brilliant save, and that's what you need. But you need your goalkeepers to come up with saves like that if you're going to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah, so a huge save there from Sal's, huge contribution, Player of the Match award for him as well. Ray, I want to just remind you that the last time Arsenal were 9 points clear, because they could have been 9 points clear today, you were in the team.
Is that right?
It was the Invincibles season.
It was a long time ago, but
it was the
Invincibles, yeah, 2004.
It could have been the case today. What does it tell you that they weren't able to go 9 points clear?
Well, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you don't lose the game, and at times Forest did push and had a couple of opportunities, but it's a difficult place to play, City ground, and they really was up for it tonight. But Mikel will be disappointed, because that was a big statement to make, to go 9 points clear. But 7 points is still a good position to be in. I know Villa have got to play tomorrow, and they could close it to 4 points. But I think the lads will be disappointed. But now all sights will be on their next game. That's all you can do. You can't change what's happened. You can say we should have created more chances at times and got in behind the Forest defence a little bit better. But as you're walking off that pitch, you're disappointed. But tomorrow, you forget about that, and we'll look for the next game. That's all you can do.
Back-to-back goalless draws for them in the Premier League. The last time that happened, Mikel Arteta was still a player.
Good stat, Jules.
Oh, you're very good, Jules, today.
Oh, we have a great stats department, I have to say.
Do you know what? I wouldn't say it's the pressure and the magnitude of it, but it's different now. They're not chasing. You know, they're the leaders. They've been the best team in the Premier League, best team in the Champions League.
He would be really disappointed if that was given.
Well, the official word from Match Centre is that moment you just mentioned now is because it comes off his shoulder first, and then onto the hand, I think, is the reason why it wasn't given as a penalty. It would have been pretty harsh.
Yeah, and he's getting bumped by multiple players. It's coming off his shoulder. He's kind of leaning forward. I mean, let's be honest. We want pens for the right reasons, not just for that, and I don't think it would have been.
If that was given, I think Sean Dyche's interview would have been interesting to hear, because he would have been really disappointed, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta would have been in the same position, so definitely the right decision.
Mikel, obviously a frustrating afternoon for you. What are your feelings immediately after?
Yeah, we obviously wanted to win the game. We knew the game was going to be very tough, very close as well, for the way that they play. We created 4 big chances and a clear penalty, but we weren't able to win the game.
I want to talk about the penalty, because I felt as I was watching it that the only decision was whether the ball was in play or not. Yeah. I didn't feel handball was even in doubt. It clearly looked like it.
Well, I just seen the reps. I think it's a clear intention to kill the ball inside, so it's a clear penalty. So I don't understand why it's not been given.
2 league games running now where you haven't managed to just find that little bit of magic or the final ball or the finish. That's frustrating, because you're in a great position, but it could have been better.
It is, and we could have been better, but as well is what's happening all around the league to every single team. So, we have to improve and do better, and especially when you create 4 big chances, like the one we have created, you have to put them away.
And you went through all the options you have. You have more options probably in your Arsenal squad this season than you've ever had. Do you feel that all those guys are in a position to just give that little bit of spark, or is there a bit of a dip at this time because there's so many games?
No, for sure they are, and so willing to do it. You have to produce that. That moment we have produced certain moments. Credit to them as well, because they are very well organized and they disrupt your momentum in a really clever way as well all the time. And you need to cope with that. We knew that, and we tried to at the end find a goal, because I don't think we conceded a single shot again. But that's the margins, and we didn't find the way to win it.
My last question is, had Saka's header gone in? What a fantastic header that was. It's a great save as well, by the way. But Bukayo Saka with a kind of number 9 centre forward header is a great header.
Yes, it is. Or the big chance that Gavi has with an empty goal, or Declan as well, or Mikel Merino has as well. So yeah, that's the moment that you have to put the ball in the back of the net and win the game. And unfortunately, we haven't managed to do that.
Thank you. Good luck at Inter. Thanks.
Yeah, what really stands out for me there is the fact that he says it was a clear penalty.
I won't say clear. I'm not too sure about that, but obviously he's frustrated, and he's looked back. He's got a monitor in front of him. He thinks that it's been handballed. It's come off his shoulder, rolled down, but he's got to take into consideration all the people bumping and guys and all that sort of stuff. So I wouldn't have said it was clear, but. You know, I'm looking at the old school when I played, probably, and that would have never been a penalty. But maybe the rules have changed now, and it was. I don't know, but I would have been really disappointed if I'm Sean Dyche and that's given as a penalty.
Well, he thinks it was the right. I'm not surprised that Arteta said clear penalty, and he said it was the right call.
Well, the thing is, somebody say there's one side and there's the other side, and then you meet somewhere in the middle.
The truth.
Or the ref's the middle. I don't know, but I mean. I can understand where Mikel's coming from one aspect of the fact that it looks like Olaina's arm moves a fraction kind of here. It like comes a little bit towards the ball. It's like his elbow tucks in. So that's the only part that you could maybe say. But I just think, again, he's being bumped from 2 different people. I just think it would have been incredibly harsh. We're talking about a title race and a relegation battle. You know, I think you gotta win both. In that sense, you got to stay up. And I think Arsenal, if they're going to win this league, which they should do, they need to do more in the game and maybe not worry about that little moment, because they can. I think they can do more in the game as well.
Seeing the right opportunity, but underneath that interview, you can see he's delighted with his team, especially on the back of Wrexham. You know, we covered that game. We covered that game. You've seen his interview. He was very frustrated with the players out of possession, very frustrated with his squad players not taking an opportunity and really fighting for the cause, and the disappointment of going out of the FA Cup. He will be delighted with that point, because I think anyone that comes up against this Arsenal side, especially lower down the table, if you can take something out of the game, it's a big bonus.
He just said there about 4 points from the last 2 Premier League games, and obviously that upset in between the FA Cup. But I was at that game, Forest. They were so much better than West Ham, and I think that would have given them a great deal of confidence that, look, they've had a close look at who's around them. It's between Forest, West Ham. Leeds look like they're now starting to move away. The other teams below them look like they're gone, really. They're going to get relegated. And I think that would have given them a boost. But to play that well against what looks like the team everyone's talking about as being the next champions, then that will also, give them a shot of confidence.
What did they do so right defensively today? Well,
I think that what they were prepared to do was let Arsenal have the ball, sit on the edge of their own box, be nice and compact. I mean, this is Morella, who doesn't really attack the ball well, but look, he gets back, he's clever. He does a little arm on the striker, gets a really good foot in a nice block.
You know, these are moments that eventually get Forest a really important point. You know, last-ditch tackles, doing your defensive job, doing your responsibility out of possession. There they are, hunting impacts. This is, if not the most dangerous team in the Premier League at the moment. But you can see there, look, the slide tackle and the fight and the battling away. I thought Sean Dyche had them really well drilled. He didn't give them much space. He allowed certain players in the Arsenal team to have the ball, but when it got to the dangerous players, they were jumping all over them.
Good in the duels, weren't they?
Being really aggressive,
strong,
really good in the
tough.
duels. And there he is applauding his team, and rightly so.
Olaina, huge to have back for them as well, who's been missing for a while with injury as well. And also on the other side, Nico Williams, given the threat Arsenal posed
down
that
side. It's an interesting thing when they swapped them over. I think it was under the last manager, or one before, they swapped them over and they were much better. Aina had been out for a long time, been a big miss, and he's back in there, and that 4 together, they've got a belief in one another, that they can see things out, but they've got that workload in front of them, and that was really important to keep that clean sheet today.